Sad, they say trust is the most fragile thing in the world. Once it's broken, it never looks the same again. My name is Grace Miller, and this is the story of how love and loyalty turned into betrayal and greed. I grew up on my father's land, a quiet piece of heaven just outside Charleston. Every morning, he'd pour his coffee, sit by the porch, and talk about the future. He'd say, "Grace, one day all this will be yours. Take care of it, and it'll take care of you." He wasn't rich, but he was proud. Proud of the sweat that built that house. Proud of the name that carried honesty. And I believed him. I believed that family meant forever, moved. When he passed away, something inside me shattered. I thought grief was my biggest battle. But grief is peaceful compared to betrayal. After the funeral, my Uncle Henry offered to help me handle the paperwork. He said he'd take care of the will, the taxes, everything my father left behind. I trusted him. Because that's what we do with family. Pause. A month later, I found out the truth. The house, the fields, even my father's old truck, all transferred under his name. My signature was on the documents. Forged perfectly, my knees went weak. It wasn't the loss of property that killed me. It was the loss of trust. Angry, I stormed into his office, papers trembling in my hands. "Why?" I asked. He looked up calmly and said, "Because you wouldn't know what to do with it. You're just a girl." Those words sliced deeper than the lie itself. Just a girl's ad the neighbors whispered, "Poor Grace." Her own blood cheated her, but no one helped. Silence is its own betrayal. Days turned into nights of sleepless tears. I walked through the empty house my father built, each room echoing memories. The walls seemed to whisper, fight back. I tried hiring a lawyer, but every door I knocked on came with the same answer. You don't have enough evidence. Because every witness was paid, every file altered, every promise corrupted. Emotional. One evening, I sat by my father's old chair, holding his pocket watch. The ticking sound reminded me, time keeps moving, even when your life stops. That night, I made a vow. If the world wouldn't fight for me, I would fight for myself. Determined, I started gathering everything. Letters, tax slips, old receipts, even family photographs that proved my presence on that land. I worked 2 jobs, saved every dollar, and hired a new lawyer from another city. Someone unconnected to my uncle's influence. For months, I lived in courtrooms instead of bedrooms. I stood alone while my uncle's lawyers mocked me, but I never lowered my head. Moved. The turning point came when a retired notary, an honest old man, stepped forward. He revealed that he was forced to stamp those forged papers. When the judge heard his testimony, everything changed. Pause. On the final day, the courtroom fell silent as the verdict was read. The land and property belong rightfully to Grace Miller. Soft tears streamed down my face. It wasn't about winning anymore. It was about closure. My father's promise had finally come full circle. I walked back to that porch, the same one where he used to sit and whispered, "Dad, I kept my promise. Sometimes the people closest to us destroy everything we believe in. But sometimes that destruction builds the strongest version of who we are." Soft. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to The Silent Clause. Like, share, and comment. Your support keeps these stories alive and reminds the world that truth always finds its way home.